In Wisconsin, the stories start before sunrise. They start in a deer stand, in a duck blind, on the front deck of a bass boat. Welcome to the Flippin' Sticks and Throwin' Lead podcast. With your hosts, Eric Tasker and former Major League pitcher Paul Wagner, this is everything outdoors. Hunting, fishing, conservation. The wins, the misses, and the memories that stick with you for a lifetime. Out here, you earn your stories, and we're here to tell them.
All right, Mr. Wagner. Well, we're in camouflage today. That means one thing. We're at least trying to shoot birds, right?
We're trying.
We're trying. Paul Wagner, Eric Tasker. This is the Flippin' Sticks and Throwin' Lead podcast. Are taking a break from the turkey woods for a little bit. We're going to catch up. We missed last week. We had a lot going on. Just prepping for this week as we both have our turkey seasons, and then HHA and the Vortex event on Friday, which we'll jump into. But lots going on. So we missed last week. We wanted to at least, do a little something for this week. Maybe it's a short one, but besides that, what else has been going on, huh?
What a whirlwind. It was a great time up there at Barneville or Vortex or Deer Valley. It was great, but the storms coming through, the storms were terrible. We saw levels at certain areas, like here and a little bit north of me, the Fox Lake area, west, talking 7, 8, even some places pushing 9 inches, unofficial 9+ inches of rain. So it was just a swamp. We walked through that golf course on the chute, and it was just amazing. So what it all does, how did it affect birds, all to be seen. I think over the weekend we saw a lot of birds over here on my property, and the time level or the time stamps are pretty serious. I mean, they're pretty consistent. Yeah. And going out in the mornings, we know that it's not. We heard some gobbles, or I did. Yeah. And looking forward to hopefully this afternoon and the rest of the week as we continue our turkey hunt. But I wanted to tell you about the deer that I saw.
If there is a turkey that is on camera right now, I'm gonna lose it. I just gotta. No, it's just a false trigger, I believe, or a squirrel. But that's the thing is now we're getting like so much intermittent activity that we kind of changed the cameras to be like every 3 hours so that they would just hit once instead of every 5 minutes the thing's going off because there's just a bunch of wildlife out there. But now we set it back to immediate upload so we know what's going on. If we need to, if we're walking out in the morning, that 5 a.m. hour this morning was all of the cameras were going off. So it's just more of like a caution thing a little bit. I had 2 deer, but I had 1 deer as I was setting up my decoy blow just on the east side of that food plot. And it sounded a lot closer than it actually was. So I think it was a pretty big blow. Yeah. But yeah. And then I just saw a hen this morning. I don't know if it was, she thought that the decoy had like genetic mutation because it only had 1 leg, this FMJ that's holding it up. And it flew right back up to the roost. So that was kind of fun to watch. But
are you using, because I'm not on your side, sorry. Are you using a Jake, a Tom, or a hen?
I just have a hen that's out there right now.
Okay, so I got the hens out there too. I have 1 hen and then I got the feeder hen. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So but yeah, so all around it was a little bit chilly at first, and then all of a sudden, boy, that sun peeked through the clouds and came over the canopy, and it started to warm up pretty quick. But I was glad that I had my vest, glad that I had my sweatshirt, and boy, it didn't matter if you had your like warm layers or whatever, because you had a deer that was like in your lap.
Unbelievable.
That'll warm you up, huh?
Unbelievable. It was so crazy. It was a buck. It was a bigger bodied. He had nubs, but he had nothing coming out. So again, I don't know where that is on the growth pattern. If that means he's going to be tiny or, he's going to be one that we're going to pass on. But the wind was blowing at him. And I was just sitting still against those 3 trees that I got I'm kind of buried in there. and that thing walked it walked past me, spun around, looked at me, and then walked back. And I don't know if he's probably like, yeah, that's that Wagner guy. He's
not going to hit me anyways. What's the difference?
He can't shoot. But he just walked in, then he went back down by the blue chair, and he went back down into the woods. And I'm like, thought we'd get him on camera down there. But it's weird. Not that we were just talking about the deer that came behind you, but we have cameras put out. And for some odd reason, you still miss the animals. We still miss them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, they're pretty good. Almost too receptive or too like trigger happy, I guess. I did turn because we were just getting like branches blowing and whatever that we kind of missed as we were setting them up. So I did change some of the sensitivity to like a lower sensitivity. So maybe we wouldn't get as many false triggers. But I mean, you want to talk about just some really cool pictures that we've gotten, just like gorgeous skylines behind it. I mean, these Moultrie cameras have been really great. Yeah. And it's nice to have a handful of them out there, even just for access, just getting in and out. Here it's 11 o'clock and we're going to take a break and, get a couple things taken care of and then get back out there. And, but we know going back out there, okay, has the camera gone off in the last 5 minutes? No. Okay. It's probably safe.
Right.
And
like you said, and you said the timestamps, nothing necessarily between that sunset to the roosting time.
Right.
And if not, it's just a random hen that runs across or real quick. The majority of the activity is between that, let's just say you said 1 to 4.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's been, I think the only like real window that we haven't seen anything is like 11:45 to 1:15. It's like a 90-minute window, which is kind of why we're doing this now. Is the only time that we haven't really seen birds. And I always think it's so interesting that you know the birds so well, obviously being able to drive around and look at some of the other properties around here, but you're like, yeah, they're just not here yet. But I bet like a week out from the season, they'll start moving in. So we put cameras out whenever that was, Monday last week or whenever. So we had like 10 days prior to the season. No birds, no birds, no birds, no birds. Thursday, birds show up. And birds showed up like 7, 8, 10 at a time. Yeah. And then they were pretty consistent throughout there. The other thing that I noticed was it almost feels like they're on an every other day pattern.
Oh, okay.
So I was optimistic for today because just thinking, okay, well, it was pretty slow yesterday, but we had really warm weather and just like a lot of different things like coming off of weather. I'm like, well, maybe today will be a good day. And then it was pretty slow this morning. So as always, there's a little bit of that unpredictability or chance or luck that has to kind of fall.
Yeah. And you're right. Cause yesterday you sent me the pictures or the pictures popped up and that was an early morning down by the blue chair. There were a couple birds down there. The farmer here to the north, 2 of the farmers kind of cleaned out their cattle stalls maybe.
Okay.
So they were spreading manure around. Again, maybe eliminate the mental image, but I think I've always heard that when you do stuff like that, whatever the cows eat, the birds have a tendency, like turkeys will follow those manure trucks. Or those manure trailers. And I've seen that before. So is that a cause? I don't know, but it redirects them once in a while. But again, they're an animal. They go to where the food is. They go where the water is. They go where the shelter is. They go to where they feel safe. And that's what it is. But I did see them out the other day, especially when we went and looked at I have another piece of property that we have permission property, which would be northwest of here. And we went over there, nothing down in that corner, but we've always seen birds down there. So a couple permission properties and ours, great people. Again, also with the local pheasant farm down here, Cackle Creek, Jody and his wife and the family run a great thing. I mean, obviously pheasants and birds are expensive, but I just give them a non-recognized, a little hit because Cackle Creek is pretty good out here and they have a bunch of fields around me as well too. So we get the random pheasants as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's only the first half day of our season, so we've got a lot of time left.
And we're mad.
And we're already like, it's so funny. I have said this probably to 5 different people in the last week. And it's like, of course deer season's a little bit different, but we've talked about this, that you don't want to shoot a deer early in the year because you don't want to blow your season, or you don't want to lose out on the season. There's a little bit of that anticipation. There's a little bit of that like grind element to it, that it's just, you got to keep getting out there and whatever. I'm like, you know what? If I were to ever just get this done on day one or morning one, I could use that right about now. I could use like my bed for a couple hours. I've got a lot of other things that I like could be working on, but that's all part of it.
Exactly.
That's the fun nature of what we do, is that it is very unpredictable. And as much as you want to try and get it done, or just get it done in general, that's why they give you a week.
Yeah, they give you a week, and then
so you can burn vacation time and then use that for the week.
And then when you talk to people, like for instance, I just had my brother on the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, there's birds here. Oh, how hard is turkey hunting? I mean, there's birds. You got the beds. I got to wait for this season. There's birds everywhere. Every single person you talk to goes, come on over to my backyard. There's a lot of birds. But no, it is exciting, and that is a double-edged sword. We walked in. I was a little disappointed that I didn't at least see birds. So I think if I could write my script, I'd like to see maybe a couple of hens come in, maybe those jakes come through and not take them, and waiting for that boss tom or something like that, but not seeing anything. And then coming back here, realizing that, okay, you put in 4 hours and you still have a whole week to hunt. So again, there's that little bit,
4 hours, really like well beyond 4 days yet. So, yes. I mean, we've got time, and it's just, I think we'll have a little bit of like rain that might throw some things for a loop at some point throughout this week, but you couldn't ask for a better day to be sitting out there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you just crop up under a tree or wherever you might be sitting. I think that we're starting this off on a high note already, just purely for the fact that the weather is cooperating.
Yeah.
And, hopefully the birds start to cooperate so that we can have more stories to share.
Absolutely. But let's not forget what we did last week. I kind of wanted to bring it up because I did remember we had Ethan Brockway, the Exonia Fire Department, and I think he enjoyed it. I didn't touch base with him again. I don't know if you have.
He did send me a follow-up and just said, thanks, man. That was so great. It was a pleasure to be able to come with, and just really cool to see their facilities and Vortex's facilities. None of us ended up shooting on Friday. You had mentioned this. The storms rolled in, and originally it was like a 5 o'clock window. So they're like, all right, we're going to try and get everybody wrapped up with the shoot by like 2:30, 3 o'clock. That way we've got a little bit of a buffer. And then we're going through the tour, and you can see a lot of wheels in motion kind of around you. And you knew something was going on. And all of a sudden we talked to Chris, and he's like, all right, well, weather's coming at 2:30 now. So we're trying to get everybody out to start shooting. But I mean, even when we went out there, it was soft. Yeah. So, and I'm like, I just went through a whole tree falling down in my backyard. Really don't want to enjoy any more storms for a while. So we all got out of there. But it was the second time doing the Vortex tour. What did you learn this time doing the tour versus the first time? Or how was it different for you?
It was similar. It was the same tour, basically. I mean, there's only so much you can do. The one thing that really stuck out, there was a couple things, but the one that, so every scope is super, super ultra light.
Yeah.
And these things, their stock material comes, and it is tubes, depending on diameter or whatever they want, of aluminum.
It's like a 3-inch or 2.5 inch,
depending on
it was.
Because they use pieces. They also machine their pieces too. Out of that main little scope, he said, just take a look at all their product that they have that's raw. That about 95% of the material is waste.
So,
and then you look at all these bins next to the machines, and you see the shavings, and you see the fine tuning and the cutting and the adjustments that are made. 95% is waste. And yeah, they have a company come in and they give them, a piece on the dollar. They take it to the recycling center. But in general, 95%, that's gotta be tough on your overhead.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, I need $100 tube. Well, why? You only need $5 worth. Well, yeah, I know, but we're just going to throw that $95 away.
Yeah, can you just hollow out the center and then melt that down and put it into a larger piece? Maybe that's shorter. Yeah.
But yeah, that was one of the biggest things that I saw. The machines, again, the other thing that was reiterated to us is that because it's done with micrometers and small and so in-depth things, that the majority of the equipment and the pieces and the turrets are all under magnifying.
Right.
But that he said that the whole facility is built on 18 inches.
I think that's right.
18 inches of concrete, and that concrete will prevent shifting, moving, stabilization for the machinery, because a lot of them, like he said, they do not run. Vortex does not run a second and a third shift.
Right.
They have a first shift. So everybody else, and he literally said, so the people there can hunt and they can enjoy their weekends with their families.
Right.
So Monday through Friday, they work hard, but they set these things on automation and they can still machine, the product
until they run out.
Correct.
Or,
exactly. Unless there's a shutdown or they run out of material that's stashed in the machine.
Yeah.
So again, that was the biggest thing that I took from last time too. 18 inches of concrete on the bottom. That's crazy.
Yeah. And I remember he had said that first station that we had stopped at, the guy was just talking about, I've been in machining for 20 years. And when I came here, they had all of these state-of-the-art measurement tools and all of that. So like they can't even use a hand caliper to measure width and distance and all of that. They actually use a tool that measures the distance and takes measurements with air, which I don't even understand how that's possible, but
well, he didn't either.
So I don't feel so bad saying that, but just really cool, because I think so many people know what Vortex Optics is, but to be able to go there, spend some time there, learn about what they do.
Yeah.
Have a day with a partner of ours, HHA USA, that, it's something you could continuously do and have a different experience every time.
Absolutely. Another thing too is I played in a couple golf tournaments. One time I was in this golf tournament down in the Virgin Islands, and I was set up with the guys from Titleist.
Okay.
Don't quote me on the exact number, but we were hitting golf balls. He had all these mock tests, the Pro V's one, blah, 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 all this dimple patterns and stuff like that. And they had told me, and I think this number is pretty correct, that Titleist produces 8 million golf balls a day.
A day?
Something stupid. Okay. So as we're walking through there and we see all the shelves and the stuff, and he says to me, I looked at him, I go, oh, like, great. He goes, people are moving around. There's pallets, like cellophane wrapped, ready to go out to the big box stores, your Cabela's, your Bass Pro Shops, anywhere they're going. And then you see these stacks and stacks about, I think he said, what was it, 50, 65, make up a number again, really high.
40-foot ceilings in the warehouse. It was like 40 or 50 feet. I mean, it's crazy.
A huge mass. The footprint was huge. And he said that everything in this building turns over completely 4 times a year.
Which just the volume of that.
So that is ridiculous. Insane. I mean, how many scopes and how many guns and how many spotting scopes and how many binoculars,
rails,
and
everything. T-shirts and hats and
everything,
bino pouches and whatever.
So the Titleist number, which blew me away a long time ago, now just gets
right. Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah, because it's $65 probably for a dozen of Pro V1s, but it could be $650 for a scope.
Yeah.
Or rangefinder or binos or whatever it might be. But yeah, I mean, just super cool that they have that ability to be able to do that. They've got the brand notoriety to that they can do that.
Yep.
And as we've talked about so many times, the warranty goes hand in hand with how successful they are, because they start off with doing all of that testing, but then they back it with that guarantee that if something ever happens with it, which I always love. My favorite thing on that tour is looking at that case with one got rolled over by a semi truck, one got burned in a fire, one got dropped off the back of a truck and fell down a mountainside, or whatever crazy examples they have.
Yeah.
And they replace it. They take care of it for you so that if you ever do have an issue, you don't have to worry about it. And you get a brand new set, which, by the way, that was incredible how fast that was.
Yes.
I was like, hey, I think I might have an issue. Do you guys have any troubleshooting advice? They're like, oh, yeah, what's your address? We'll just send you a new one.
Send yours back.
Like, okay,
so when he said that, did you hear him say that? Small little portion of this huge warehouse. During COVID, they had this, I thought he said either $2,500 scope. It's a $2,500 scope that they don't really produce anymore. It's kind of past its time. And on this small little corner, he says, we have 12 of them. So 12 of them at $2,500 a piece. Mm-hmm. Said we save that because if one of our customers has a problem, we can take a part out of it. If we go through these 12 that we have, then we upgrade them to the next one. But if we can, we have the parts and stuff at least to either replace it or fix the one that they have.
Yeah.
Until this surplus runs out, then we will obviously upgrade the customer to obviously a huge upgrade. But I remember when he said that, I'm like, and they're just sitting there, a small little area, and you're like, okay, oh, there's 25 grand just sitting right there. And that's like, like the size of my baseball hat. I mean, like 25 grand right there.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. But I mean, all in all, I think just super cool and really great for us to be able to bring somebody with for that tour that the event is entirely focused around. Yeah. So, our first responders, our veterans, people who have served our communities or our country. It's something that Chris and HHA USA has done now for a number of years. This was mission number 40. So they do that mission 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 40. We're at 40 now. Matthews will be mission number 41. And it's cool because it gives them a chance to meet other like-minded and like people who have gone through a lot of similar things. And there's a lot of people that carry a lot of weight with PTSD with these career choices that they've made, different things that they've done to give back and be, peacekeepers or whatever capacity. And it was cool to see that on Thursday when I was there, that like people just exchanging and like getting to know one another, but doing it in a way that was effortless, I think is the easiest way to explain it. That like just talking in a group and somebody comes up, hey, my name's Eric. I served in Iraq or whatever it is, whatever their backstory is, to be able to come in and have these people just have a conversation and meet one another. And it's truly unlike anything else because it's just a bond that is inherently built in with these people who have gone through all of these things, that they can find common ground immediately.
And you did it. I saw it firsthand. You were with a group of guys, and I'm like, what? You introduced me to the one gentleman that we're going to have on. I mean, you can talk about that later. Then the other guy was sitting in the golf cart, and I'm like, and you introduced me to him, and he goes, you go, this is, and I'm like, I don't know him, but he looks familiar. And I'm like, oh, I don't know him.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. All right, I'm going to go check over here. And I'm like, I thought, but the guys that, it almost sounded like, even though you met him for one day, for like a few hours, it was that bond that you guys created that it is kind of neat. And you mentioned that in one of your posts.
Yeah.
And I think that was incredible because everybody that you were with and that you met and that you talked to and you shot with were very not, hey, who are you again? No. Right. Everybody.
Hey, Eric. And I'm terrible with names. I am so bad with names. So for me, I was very lucky that my group that I shot the scramble with was an Eric, and an Adam.
Dakota? Wasn't there a Dakota?
No, and Dakota. Okay, so it was Eric, me, Eric, another guy, Dakota, and Adam. But Adam, I think it was Adam. His middle name was Eric. So 3 of the 4 of us were Erics, basically.
Oh, yeah, because he goes, that's right, because he goes, I'm Eric with a C. I know you're Eric with a K. That's how I remember it. That's right. That's right.
He had all three different spelling: E-R-I-C, E-R-I-K, and E-R-I-C-H. Actually, so it's like really just so funny that we ended up in the same group. And how we all got together was they do the scramble, which I had never done an archery scramble prior to last year's events. And when we got there, they kind of had like a practice field set up, and there were 18 targets, a couple practice lanes. And because of our partnership, we're a sponsor of station number 4, or like target number 4. So I was kind of hanging around with some of the guys from Thin Blue Line Outdoors, who we're going to hopefully have those guys on at some point. And I was like, I'm not a veteran. I'm not a first responder. I'm not any of those things. And then they make the announcement and they're like, hey, we need captains to like lead a team or be responsible for a team or whatever. So I just kind of walked over. The whole thing is you're not supposed to shoot with people you know. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to just kind of walk over with the Thin Blue Line guys. Well, they happen to go to station number 3. So I was standing in front of station number 4. And then 3 random guys walk up to me at the same time. And they're like, are you a captain? And I was like, I really should not be a captain. I don't know what that means, but
we're going to shoot here.
We can shoot at station number 4 if you'd like. And that's how I got to know those guys. And it was just totally random. 3 random people that came together. And then all of a sudden you have these conversations. You get to spend an hour shooting your bow with them. And it breaks down walls. It helps make bonds with new people. And now it's like we're, messaging back and forth on Instagram and liking one another's posts and
all different ranges too.
Right.